Howdy again, everybody. Doc here from Thorofan, coming to you with the name behind the race, and we actually did have a special request this week to research a race. It is a race that is being run at Belmont Park this Saturday, and it's known as the Peter Pan. And who is Peter Pan? Probably not who you are thinking of as far as what this race may be named after, but we'll give you a little more insight as we head off to the second start of the right and straight back into history on this week's Name Behind the Race. For most folks, the words Peter Pan conjure up this.
It's Peter Pan. Pan the Avenger is back.
However, in the racing world, there is also a famous horse who, well, flew around the racetrack in his day. Born in 1904, Peter Pan was the son of Belmont Stakes winner Commando and the mare Cinderella. He was bred and owned by James R. Keene and trained by James Rose Sr. Winning half of his starts as a 2-year-old, including the prestigious Hopeful at Saratoga, it was his 3-year-old year where he really burst onto the racing scene, rattling off wins in the Brooklyn Stakes, Advance and Title Stakes, Standard Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. This was before it was known as the final jewel of the Triple Crown. The final race of his career, the Brighton Handicap, where he can be seen here making his winning move, as outlined by the arrow, was won in a fashion that caused the New York Telegraph to exclaim that he accomplished a task that completely overshadowed any previous 3-year-old performance in turf history. A tendon injury forced his retirement shortly after the Brighton, and he became a very successful stallion, becoming not only a sire of future champions, but also a very successful sire of sires and dam sires. One of his most famous of his dam sire progeny was the great filly Top Flight in the end of the 1920s. Peter Pan died in 1933 at 29 years of age and is buried at what was the Whitney Farm in Lexington, Kentucky, but now is part of Gainesway Farm. In kind of an unusual twist, 1 year after his death, another Peter Pan emerged to take the racing world by storm. This Peter Pan was from down under, though, and became famous for his 1934 win of the race that stops a nation, the Melbourne Cup.
Finishing well too. It looks like Peter Pan will win it. Peter Pan is well clear, about half a furlong from the post, and he'll win it all right. A magnificent victory. Star Cherry is making a determined effort to overcome him, and Limbaum is finishing well too.
Today, the Peter Pan Stakes is seen as a prep race for horses looking to run in the Belmont Stakes. Although in the last 30 years, only 2 horses have successfully completed the Peter Pan Belmont Double. The first was AP Indy in 1992. A horse who many considered could have been a Triple Crown winner had he not developed a foot problem that required him to be scratched the morning of the Derby. He won a stretch-long battle to persevere in the test of the champion, as can be seen here.
Right there with him, and on the outside, here comes My Memoirs. He's right there, third. They're in the final furlong, and Pine Bluff is all out on the lead. AP Indy is right there with him. It's very tight. My Memoirs is full of run, but AP Indy surges to victory in the Belmont Stakes.
The other more recent winner of both was Tonalist, who followed up his very impressive win in the Peter Pan with a win in the Belmont Stakes of 2014, denying California Chrome the Triple Crown and breaking the hearts of many a chromie that afternoon.
Commissioner hanging tough down toward the rail. Time ticking away in the Triple Crown. Commissioner down inside. Toneless between horses. California Chrome labeling late. Here's the wire, and it's a photo finish that goes to Tonelist. Tonelist does it. Commissioner was second. Medal count was
Will there be another Belmont winner giving us a glimpse of his promise in this year's Peter Pan? Only time will tell for sure. Well, there you go. Everything you potentially wanted to know about the Peter Pan Stakes and Peter Pan the Racehorse. Peter Pan the Racehorses, really, when you look at the Australian star as well, although we were obviously focusing on the U.S. runner, of which the race is named after. I will be honest, I did receive a request to do this segment while wearing Peter Pan tights, but our legal department has informed me that the sight of me in tights basically violates the Constitution's rule on cruel and unusual punishment. So you have the government to thank for never having to hopefully witness that sight. Hope everybody had a wonderful Derby weekend and experience and is looking forward to the Preakness. And we actually will profile the Preakness and where that name came from on next week's segment. But if you do happen to have a race that you're kind of curious about the name or the history from and you want us to research it a little bit more, go ahead and drop us a line here at Thorofan. I'll be happy to research it for you, and you never know, may end up on a future segment. I'm Doc for Thorofan, and we'll see you next time on The Name Behind the Race. If you're an incredibly passionate thoroughbred racing fan and want to find a whole bunch of people that are just like you, why not check out Thorofan at thorofan.com. Sign up to become a member, get our amazing weekly newsletter, and learn everything and anything there is to know about this amazing sport we call thoroughbred horse racing. Thorofan, giving the fans a voice.